and the Apollo, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that was incredible, really. I mean, I've dreamed of doing that show. Every comic does, you know, and I never saw it happening. It came out of nowhere. I literally was asked to go and do a gig in London, tiny little gig, didn't know anything about it, didn't know the people that were in there. And then 3 weeks later, I got the call saying you're recording in 2 weeks. It was just mad.
Were there like talent scouts in there then?
Yeah. And it was so mad. And it was the producer, Anthony Caveney, who's a lovely man. And sort of like, he was like, you know, he wanted you to do it. And it was just so surreal. And I still can't believe it in a weird way, going down there, coming out under the sign, and just so unbelievable. So yeah, it was like a moment where I'm like, my God, it's actually, and it's so hard to stay in the zone, in the moment in there, because you've done millions of gigs, but that's like, you know, as a comic what that means. But I had such great fun. And, what was
the day like building up to, like, you know, you're doing this thing later on? That must have been horrendous. Yeah, it was hard. I didn't sleep much the night before because it's in your head, and then went down on the train, took Gemma with me, and there's a lot of hanging about. Yeah. That's what there is. There's a lot of hanging about, and then you sort of waiting to go on, and then you're on, and that's it. You that's happening. Was it in the afternoon, or was it at night? Or? They do 2, so we were in the evening one, so we started at 7. Yeah. But yeah, I walked on stage, must have been about 7:30. And you do actually do 20 minutes, which they edit. Yeah. So it was just great. And the audience were brilliant. And you just have to play it like big, and you have to sort of use the stage and stuff. It's not like you're shuffling in your little comedy club. You're in a huge space. So, but yeah, it was just amazing. Just bucket list stuff, you know. Any kind of like funny stories from, you know, behind the scenes? Well, I was trying to stay focused, but it's really hard because you're sort of going like, it's just another gig. And then, as I said to myself, it's just another gig. I had like these fans, like, so if they were like here around my ears like this, keeping my face cool because I had a hot flush. So I had fans like that. The makeup lady was putting shine on my face like this. And then they were sort of saying, right, you know, your sushi's up there for when you come off. And I looked in the mirror as if to say, you've changed. You haven't even done this yet. Sushi, makeup lady, personal fans going. I'm in London. Yeah, I'm in London, darling. Get me a cab. And when the sign came up, it's really hard to focus. And then you walk out under that sign, and it's like walking through smoke. And then you go, oh God. And then you're off. So it was great. Really good. Brilliant. So what was the reaction like after? It was great. Like even people on your street and that would think, "Do you see Scott on telly last night? You must have had." Yeah, it was bizarre. It was bizarre. The really weird thing was obviously that we were meant to go out on November the 17th. That was when we were meant to be aired, but then it didn't happen because Bolton Wanderers and Stockport County went into extra time, so they bumped us to the following evening, which was. So you imagine that 10 years of graft, get everyone round watching the telly, and then you watch someone taking penalties for Stockport. So my kids think I play up front for Stockport. They're really confused. Like, I thought Daddy did jokes. And then, but then my dad rang afterwards because he's a proper joker, and he just generally went, "Watched it, son. You were brilliant," which made me laugh. Yeah, just lied. You were brilliant. Well done. Brilliant. Excellent. You haven't watched it, have you, Dad? Yeah. You haven't, because it didn't happen. Oh, right. So yeah, it was great, and it went out the following night, and the people was great, and so it's been wonderful, the response, really.